Hi guys. We had technical issues to a scale that we haven't had since the beginning of the season this week, in that Molly's mic cut out about halfway through, and then I had to bass boost the rest of her lines, and it sounds a little bit crunchy, but we live and we learn. As always, The Monkees may be a children's show from the 60s, but The Monkees Pod is not a children's show from 2026. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome back to the Monkees Pod, a Monkees recap podcast. I'm Sommer.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Molly.
Today we have Season 1, Episode 31, Monkees at the Movies, the beach episode. In this beach program, there is a very beach episode, and it's this one. This is also our last normal episode of Season 1.
Okay.
Yay! Next episode is going to be our kind of weird, odd one out, documentary style season finale type thing.
Okay.
So this is kind of our normal last plot for the season. And our historical background for this premise is going to be Beach Blanket Bingo, or the real movies that inspired Teen Beach Movie and the SNL sketch with the exploding whale.
Oh, yes.
My cultural reference.
I did write, Yas, I love Teen Beach Movie.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about Teen Beach Movie and your understanding of the genre?
I would love to tell about Teen Beach Movie. The decom and the genre, perhaps. There's a Disney Channel original movie called Teen Beach Movie, which is a parody of this genre of Teen Beach movies. And I guess the vibe is, it is teenagers and they're on the beach and they are singing and they are dancing. And there were ones with Elvis in the past and Annette Funicello or something.
Yeah, and the exploding whale sketch. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
There's an SNL sketch where they're shooting a Teen Beach movie, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, there's that whale carcass that's been filling up with gas sitting there." And then they go to for the romantic scene, and they're about to kiss, and the whale just starts exploding. They just get covered in whale guts. But both of these things are based off of the Beach Party films of American International Pictures, AIP, which is also the studio that was releasing all of those I Was a Teenage Monster ones that we talked about in the Frankenstein episode. They found a formula for certain teen films and they stuck with it. Their first surprise hit of the genre was Beach Party from July of 1963. And then every single one of the rest of the movies proceeded to be the same movie, as I assume, which consist of a group of teenage or college-age characters as protagonists, non-parental adult characters as antagonists or comedic relief, simple, silly storylines that avoid any social consciousness, teen trends and interests such as dancing, surfing, drag racing, cars, music, irresponsible drinking. And they would have a lot of singing and dancing and fun. People say that the Gidget movies, Gidget and Gidget Goes Hawaiian, are precursors to the genre.
Okay.
But those are classier than these, even, because they're surf movies where surfing occurs. No surfing happens here. Just dancing on the beach.
Just beach.
Just beach. I assume maybe they get on a surfboard, but it has the rear projection green screen when they're surfing,
like a Teen Beach Movie.
Yeah, exactly. Another concept from this era that I would like to bring up is the matinee idol, and the concept of a matinee. So this was basically them making fun of the hot teen boy crush archetype of 5 years earlier. The early 1960s, before the Beatles came over, when Elvis was still the biggest boy in town, they had hot teens such as Frankie Avalon, who was a teen idol. He had the song Venus, which I have heard, and also he's Teen Angel in Grease.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They reference him in Hairspray.
Yes. And apparently this episode of the Monkees is revenge on Frankie Avalon for trying to parody the Beatles. In 1964's Bikini Beach, he played a character named the Potato Bug, who was a British pop star. And for this discretion, we have to parody him ruthlessly in Monkees at the Movies. And let's talk about who plays the fake Frankie Avalon, who is named Frankie... What's his name?
I have it written down.
Frankie...
I called him Blonde Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was
Frankie
Definitely.
Catalina,
Yeah,
because
Catalina.
Avalon and Catalina are like related islands near
Okay.
LA, so it's like very obvious who
I
they're
see
talking
what they're
about.
doing there.
But I would just also like to teach us a little bit about Bobby Sherman, who plays Frankie Catalina.
Okay, that's a very familiar name to me.
So he was he started in Shindig as the house singer, and then his breakout role was Here Comes the Brides from 1968 to 1970, and he was also in an episode of The Partridge Family.
That's probably why I know him.
Bobby was promoted to captain on the Los Angeles Police Department, where he taught CPR and life-saving techniques to incoming academy recruits. Okay.
Okay.
For a few years, he was also one of the members of the Teen Idol tour, which also included Peter Noon, Davy Jones, and then later Micky Dolenz replacing Jones.
Okay.
So he was on a former Hot Boys tour with them. So I think like the point of this episode is to be like, teen beach movies, that's so 5 years ago. We're hip and we're cool and we play rock and roll. Screw you, Hot Boys of 5 years ago. We're the Hot Boys now. Perhaps. Although the first season's final scripted entry to be broadcast, number 31st, on April 17th, 1967, Monkees at the Movies was actually completed months earlier, 12th in production, August 22nd to 26th of 1966, which you can tell because they all look young again.
They all look young again, but it didn't look warm on that beach.
No, it didn't.
For
They were
August.
like, the sand is hot. I was like, it's cloudy.
Yeah.
And they were all wearing, like, they were all fully clothed and the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And I was like, it looked like it was the middle of the winter.
Right.
For a California August.
Yeah. They had it on a bad day. Yeah, it starts with them on the beach, playing checkers on a beach towel, a great surface to play checkers on. Like you said, all fully clothed in normal outfits, but no shoes.
Yeah, and jeans.
Yeah, jeans, button-ups, hat, of course. Micky throws the checkers on the sand, ruining the game forever because there's no way they're going to find all of them.
And Peter's like, my checkers!
Yeah, also littering. Thanks, Micky. So Peter steps on the sand to get them, but he's like, the sand is hot, and he starts tweaking out. And the rest of the Monkees see this and are like, well, guess I'll try that hot sand too, instead of not doing that.
Instead of not burning their feet.
Also, how did y'all get to the edge of the water without realizing that the sand was hot? How did you get out here?
It's not hot.
And it's
There's
not
no way it's hot.
Yeah. But they're just like, they're jumping around the sand. And their hot sand distress noises are like ee ooh ah ah, like cartoon monkeys.
Did you see Mike just kept kicking one leg?
Yeah.
It was just...
He did not care. Yeah, their unenthusiastic monkey noises remind me of like the Beatles. Whenever in Help they have to like make ADR reaction noises to something, you can tell that they are actively smoking in the recording booth because they'll be like, ooh, oh, yeah. And it was like that. An old blonde bald man.
Who plays him? Do you know that? He was tan.
Jerry Lester.
Okay.
I don't know.
Doesn't register to me, but I was like, this man is very
Orange.
tan.
That man is orange.
This man is orange.
Yeah.
He's out there making beach movies.
Yeah.
He is wearing the craziest glasses I have ever seen.
Yeah.
They look like space-aged glasses.
Yeah, I call them Cyclops glasses, and in fact, I call him Cyclops for the whole rest of this.
His name is Cram.
Cram. Yeah. They're like those, like, you know, those glasses that like Inuit people wear to like prevent snow blindness, where it's just a slit in it.
Yeah. But I thought those were like 80s glasses. I was like, oh my God, those are back from in the 60s. Like in the 80s, they had something that was similar to
He
that.
looks like a space ranger or something.
Yeah. It's a weird, the entire way this man dresses throughout the episode, we can talk about this now.
I have lots of notes on outfits.
It's
so
incredibly weird because everything they dress him in is pulled from like the Monkees stock box of the clothes that they share amongst themselves.
Yes.
There are two shirts he wears in this episode that in the like end of episode music video, Davy and Peter are then wearing.
Yeah.
Like it's in the same episode, he's literally wearing their clothes.
I think they were trying to come across, he's hip and mod because he's a movie director. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be like young. And
but they cast this old man.
But they got this.
I thought was they just spent the whole day on the beach and didn't bring their whole wardrobe stock and had to figure something out.
Yeah. I think it could possibly be that he is supposed to be a parody of Bob Rafelson, and that's how he dressed, because he always has sunglasses on, and that was what Bob Rafelson had. So this old hip man sees the Monkees' bare feet and immediately casts them as extras in his new beach movie. That's all it took.
It was their groovy dancing.
Oh, okay.
It was their typical new dance. Typical teenagers doing a typical new dance step.
Yeah. Oh, because they're young teens. Yeah. Also, during this, Davy jumps into Peter's arms. Yes. I know the sand's not that hot. I know you just wanted to do that. Cram's goon is a nerd, so I'm calling him Smithers.
He was Smithers.
Yeah. So Smithers is like, oh, Mr. Cram gave you beach party honeymoon. And Peter's like, you didn't give it to us. We had to pay for it. I know your asses are not paying for movies.
They paid 80 cents at the drive-in.
Yeah. Which is $8 now. Bruh. Movie tickets now, standard typical adult ticket at my theater is $19.
That's crazy.
I know. It's in New York, but...
I know, but still.
I feel like it's the same
They're in LA. They're in
LA.
LA, so... I wrote in all caps, Mike looks like a baby duck! He's very cute in this episode.
They don't think they'd be interested being in a beach movie.
Yeah, no, he's like, how do you teenagers like to appear as extras in my new picture? And Davy says, I don't think we'd be interested in a beach movie, while looking like the most beach movie boy of all time.
Right. Doesn't he love to hang out on the beach?
You're this tan little acorn, a beautiful teenage face being like, I belong in a hardcore action movie.
Right, were beach movies already so uncool that even the Monkees didn't want to be in them?
I think they were at this point, yeah. And they refuse until they hear that it pays $30 a day.
I was going to say, before they even got to that, I'm like, buddy, you're going to get paid.
Right.
You have no job.
The Monkees will do anything for a check.
No, I realized at this moment that being offered $100 or so is the equivalent of doing it for a Scooby snack for the Monkees. But would you do it for $100? Oh yeah.
Scooby snack.
Yeah. And so they put on their suspender bathing suits.
And Micky pulls out a clapboard that says,
what does it say?
822 production C842. So it's it's August 22nd. Director Cram, camera Lipman, scene 6, take 4.
I don't know about any of that. Maybe Lipman was their real camera guy, perhaps.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Was it 822 though? You said they did it in August.
Yeah, that was the real filming date.
Yeah, that was the real filming date. And they do these little like playing with surfboard shots that are in the intro.
Yeah, and they're in their suspender bathing suits.
Yeah. I realized at this point, I was like, oh guys, we're almost done with the season 1 opening title. Like, because the title sequence, they'd use new shots next season. Like, I'm not going to miss it exactly, because everything about season 2 is better to me. But guys, we're halfway through the show.
Sequence.
That's so crazy. We made it like halfway through the show already. Wow. The Monkees arrive to the beach, to the set of the movie, in their beautiful jacket and short sets.
Yes, all of them.
They look really good. I really like these outfits.
I was like, I was digging it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really a look.
Yeah,
and they all have it.
Yeah.
We should go back to that.
Yeah, because not
every
man needs to be shirtless on the beach. I don't need to see that every time. Let's get some classy. Let's get fashion.
The little windbreaker jackets.
Yeah.
Zip. Very nice. Very nice.
Mike's is green. It matches his hat. Davy's is orange and it has like a Hawaiian floral pattern.
His was a pullover. His top.
Micky's is blue with yellow stripe, and Pete is like burgundy.
One of them has like a block. Color block on them. I liked. I did very much like them.
They're nice fits, yeah.
Cram has got a different pair of weird glasses on.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a polka dot brown shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this is the shirt that we later see Davy in.
Puffy sleeves.
Yeah, no, it's just the Monkees' clothes. Micky, in an impression I can't place, says, here we are in the land of make-believe. Look at that rock. It's a phony rock. Look at that fish. It's a phony fish. Look at that girl. Oh, yeah. I don't know what he was doing there.
I don't either.
Yeah. Look at that girl. Oh, yeah. the like director's chairs on set, they say Mr. Cram and yes, Mr. Cram.
Well, the first thing he said was, I don't want a yes man. And then Smithers says, well, I'm not sure that these guys are right. And he's like, oh, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. So then the rest of the time, he spends his time saying yes to him. He does say yes. He is his yes man.
Yeah, his literal Smithers. The backstory, the rarest ship in the Monkees is Mr. Cram and yes, Mr. Cram.
Mr. Cram.
Well, it's his nephew.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He says it later.
Yeah,
you're right. They do.
He does say that. Mr. Cram introduces the name of the film. I married a creature from out of town. Isn't it a teen beach movie? Why is it titled like a B movie?
I
like
don't
a sci-fi
think. You
movie?
know what? I don't think that's this. I thought that's what it was too, but it's not. That's another movie he was working on.
Okay, so we don't learn the name.
We don't learn the name of this movie because I wrote it down thinking it was, and then it said again later, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, no, that's the other movie he was famous for or something.
Okay,
I don't know.
I guess he must work for AIP, and Mike has his arms crossed like a dad because he is a dad, even though he's so little. Then Mr. Cram introduces hot teen star Frankie Catalina, who, as we said, is blonde Elvis. He has a blonde Elvis wig.
It's got like a pompadour.
Yeah, it's like saran fibers, like a doll wig.
It looks really bad.
Yeah,
it looks crispy.
Yeah, and he also has like this tiger print robe, and he's rude to Peter. He calls him replaceable.
He walks right into Peter and then yells at him.
Yeah. And as he's leaving, Mike waves his
I was
punching
say,
hand at him.
I said Mike was very angry.
Because of true Torksmith love, you don't disrespect Peter. Here's something I noticed. So all the extras are shirtless, but the Monkees and Frankie get to have shirts. What does it mean? Because I was wondering about this, because like when we were growing up, like it was like Pretty Little Liars and Teen Wolf were the hot teen boys, teen take your shirts off shows, and the boys are allowed to take their shirts off whenever they want in those.
Right.
But like when you were watching, like, I don't know, like the OC, like when did it get to the point where like shirtlessness was chill?
The OC was a little bit before your time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm rewatching the OC, so I can tell you that everybody's like naked in that show all the time.
Right. I'm like wondering.
Well, it's also the 90s, and the girls' clothes are terrible. Like they're like naked, and their pants are like down around their hip. They're horrible clothes. Anyway,
you're not into the Y2K low-rise jean revival.
No.
I just find it funny because like they're like, oh, the extras can be shirtless, not our boys though. Yeah. Maybe it would be because if they put them next to like all these like actual like beach hunk extras, they would look skinny and pale because they are.
I wonder if maybe Mike still doesn't want to take his shirt off, and the rest of them joins him in solidarity.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm like, let Davy out. Like he wants
to be free. I think that there's a point where he's at least like wearing like an open button shirt.
Yeah, he wants to be naked. Let him be free.
Yeah.
Cram. He's wearing the picnic blouse, the like gingham picnic pirate shirt. And then he says, let's make a movie that teens will watch even in a drive-in. I'm sure this movie is going to be better than sex. Wait, before Mike said that that the Monkees all collectively saw his other movie at the drive-in, what things happened inside of the Monkey Mobile while they were watching that movie?
The implication.
I think that's when they said I married a creature that was the other movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Frankie, but they said Frankie is very versatile, but he can't sing, surf. He's afraid of the water. Girls make him break out. He's the perfect teenager.
Mm-hmm. I like how they included that he dubs his singing in there because the Monkees are also doing that quite a bit. And it seems like a read. Yeah, no, because then Frankie does take his shirt off, and next to the hot beach extras, I was like, maybe put that back on. Cram directs Frankie to dominate the volleyball game.
Yes.
But the Monkees prevent him from doing so. Guys, do you want $30 or not? You're going to get fired. And then Frankie delivers a savage roast, which I have copy pasted here. Hold it. Just who do you guys think you are? You with your stupid expressions. That's Peter.
Oh, yeah.
You with that silly green bonnet. And you, a scarecrow in shorts. Just remember, you guys, you're dime a dozen extras, and I'm a star. A scarecrow?
Scarecrow
Mickey.
shorts.
I know, that's so... I don't even know what he means by that.
Well,
It's
you're
just so
skinny.
mean.
Scarecrows
Okay.
are stick legs.
I guess. It cuts to their house for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Where Mickey decides that the Monkees strike back. And he says it in a really like weird, contrived line reading. And he decides this by shadow realming into Shakespeare, holding a skull and calling
he becomes
Frankie.
Hamlet for
Yeah.
a moment.
He calls Frankie a popinjay. Mickey's Goomba hair is really bad in this one. You can tell it was shot early. After that 2-second scene in their house, it cuts back to the beach, where Frankie is looking at himself in his vanity set up directly on the sand, in his mirror, and he's like, "You beautiful doll, you great big beautiful doll." He's like looking at himself and singing. This guy seems kind of chill. I like this actor. So Frankie calls for makeup, and Davy is the makeup artist, which means he's
In the
Shadow Realm
Realm.
French for some reason.
Yeah.
And so, without Frankie noticing, Davy puts him in the werewolf makeup that
Yeah.
Mike had when
With,
he was alive.
I said with 3 powder puffs and an eyeliner, he gives him a full face of Wolfman makeup.
Well, that's the power of the realm, you know? And then all the girl extras scream because women are so easily frightened.
They're so frightened. I mean, I would be frightened if I suddenly saw a werewolf on
Yeah.
my beach set.
Why, I thought that was Frankie Catalina. There's a horrid wolf. The way they set up this next scene, Cram's like, "Okay, Frankie, we're doing the scene where you meet Tina at her cabana." So he goes to meet Tina at her cabana. And this is where Cram is wearing the blue cloud shirt that Davy wears. Stop wearing sexy teen clothes. You're not a teen.
Mickey messes with Frankie's cue cards.
Yeah, he makes him he gives this long speech, and then he's like, "Now say those 3 little words," and then Mickey replaces the cue card with, "You're under arrest." I feel like they could have done a worse roast than that. Like
Not that creative.
on the level of when in Harry Potter, when they're like trying to like torment Harry at the Triwizard Tournament, Draco makes all the buttons that say Potter stinks. Like you're
Really?
like a 15-year-old boy, you couldn't come up with something meaner than that.
But this makes Frankie cry for some reason.
He's so embarrassed.
Maybe
so
he's
humbled.
crying because the Monkees are psychologically torturing him when he was slightly rude to them.
Yeah.
You know? They're out to ruin his life when he was slightly rude to him. A journalist comes up to Mickey, and Mickey's like, "Oh, Frankie, he's the kind of guy that would take money out of his own pocket, lend it to an extra he hardly knew, take them out to dinner, off to share his apartment." And the photographer's like, "He did that for you?" And Mickey's like, "No, my sister." Good for Coco, I guess. So the joke with that is that he's being indecent and not a wholesome star for teens. But I feel like that would make him seem cool, you know? Like a playboy.
Well, maybe he's supposed to seem more wholesome in the beach movie realm.
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not the era of being a cool rocker yet.
Yeah. Much in the way that the Monkees were supposed to be wholesome.
Precisely.
I said Mickey pronounces the word especially.
Especially.
Oh. It pans across not even women, just bikini bodies with beach pageant ribbons around them. And then there's one of the beaches has a long name, so is the tall girl's really tall.
That's what I said. It's Miss Malibu, Topanga, and Sunset is really tall. Probably why her name is so long. And there, actually, Miss Redondo had a zebra striped one piece, like with mesh sides. Yeah. I was like, I like that.
That's kind of like 2000s. That's
I want that bathing
Pink
suit.
Panther score. Cram says, "Now, Frankie, in the beauty contest scene, you sing the movie's big song. Remember to move your lips in sync with the record." The concept of him needing to be reminded of that at all, but especially right now. So then Frankie sings along to the record, which is New Girl in School by Brian Wilson, apparently.
Love some Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Very beach.
And then Mike messes with the speed of it in complete plain view of everyone.
Yeah.
In a manner I'm not sure the technology is capable of.
No,
because it gets slower after he stops touching it. Like,
well, yeah. It was, right. Yeah, he's nowhere near it, and it goes slower again. And it goes, but there were speeds on you have a record player.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know that you just click
But he could
click through the
slow it
speeds.
down with his mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noted that when it's slowed down, it sounds like Elvis, and when it's sped up, it sounds like the Monkees.
I also noticed that Cram was screaming, cut,
Yeah,
and nobody was
they were
stopping.
ignoring him.
Not even our lead guy wanted to stop.
Absolutely nobody
Respects his authority as the director.
And I was like, he's going to like blow a blood vessel.
He's losing
screaming.
control of his set. Whatever Charlie Brown says at the Christmas play. So then Cram and Frankie go to the screening room to watch the dailies, and Frankie walks in and he goes, "Yesterday was the most horrible day of my life," because some boys inconvenienced you a couple times. You know what? Good for you for having such a blessed life that this was the worst.
Yeah, that was the worst thing that happened to you.
So while he's watching the dailies, the song that plays is "A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You," which is a Neil Diamond song recorded on January 21st, 1967, at Jeff Barry's final session as Monkees producer, effectively ending Don Kirshner's involvement.
Okay. So they're watching footage.
Yeah.
And I got Frankie's wearing the geometric hairy shirt we've seen before.
Yes. I noted, why is he wearing the ugliest shirt in the world again from Monkees a la mode?
And now he has a bathing suit to match it.
Yes. Yeah, the dailies are all different various shots of the Monkees being dicks to Frankie for no reason. He called Peter replaceable. That's the only negative interaction he's had with any of them.
I have a question. Why have they not been thrown off the set yet?
Right, exactly. Why not fire them if they're making your life so miserable?
Probably Cram tried to fire them and then just nobody listened to him because nobody respects his authority.
Apparently, Cram has no authority.
He has no control over his set. And while they're watching in the screening room, there's these like square holes in the back of the room, and the Monkees all pop their heads in. Yeah. So cute.
And then at one point, Davy just pops his head in all the different holes.
So in the clips we're seeing, Frankie eats popcorn with his girl, but Micky is in there. Micky is in the popcorn.
Micky's in the popcorn.
Micky is a popcorn,
which is not appetizing at all.
No. Every time that like some prank happens in the dailies, Frankie and Cram react like they weren't expecting it, like they weren't there when it happened.
Like they didn't, they had
like they were like he isn't in this very footage that we're seeing. Confusing shot. Frankie invites various girls into his single stall beach changing room, and the Monkees take them out the back one by one.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Girls, come party in my changing room," except the Monkees were all in there waiting to take the girls away from him.
Well, out the back, there's a back flap, so they were just all standing outside the back.
Okay.
And just picking them out as they came.
What was his game plan when he got all the girls in his single stall changing room?
Well, that's a cabana.
Can only imagine.
Okay.
That was the cabana.
Okay. I see. Also, there's shots of like the Monkees messing with the cameras and equipment, which would not have ended up in the dailies.
No, it wouldn't have ended up in the dailies. Peter does clock Micky in the head with a boom, though.
And I bet that was just their real camera equipment. They were just letting them play with it, which is awful. We have a shot where Mike replaces the girl Frankie is about to make out with a volleyball with a wig on it, and he doesn't notice and makes out with it anyway.
Also, they replace a girl's hands with Peter's hands over Frankie's eyes.
Got him! Now a very weird thing happens. It's Frankie dancing on stage, and then it speeds up faster and faster, and then he disappears.
Right.
The girls behind him shrug as if they saw him disappear.
Right.
How did the Monkees do that?
I said, I guess that's what they were doing with the camera equipment.
Oh, they were like messing with the camera.
Yeah, they were messing with the filming.
See, I thought it was their dimensional powers that they have.
I was like, oh, that's what they were doing with the cameras.
Yeah. Well, later in a season 2 episode that's coming up shortly, we see that Mike has the power to manipulate space-time and can move hours forward at his own will. So perhaps it was something of that.
Maybe it was like that.
Yeah. Frankie agrees with me because he says it's a conspiracy. Yeah.
The Monkees are too powerful.
Yeah. Which is wise. He should not mess with the power of the Monkees. So he walks out of his contract to go do a mystery at Mammoth Studios because he won't ruin his $1 million image. And then Smithers is like, Mammoth Studios has been out of business for years. And Cram's like, that must be the mystery. And I said, well, no, because the Monkees have literally been there recently. Like, what was the episode where they were running around the movie set and they were like shooting Peter in the rafters?
Oh, that was Mammoth Studios.
That was Mammoth Studios, yeah. So it can't have been out of business for that many years. In Pad Kitchen, Mike is playing with a kite.
Yes, it was a very nice high flyer paper kite. It had surfers and sharks and manta rays on it.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm sure they would like that kite. I'm happy for them that they have a kite to play with. Peter says, it's going to be tough to replace a man like Frankie. After all, where do you find a guy that can't sing, act, or surf?
Yeah.
And Mike says, you could go out for the part, Davy. Snap zoom with like weird alien sound effects on Davy in a suit when the rest of them are dressed normal. And he says, you must be joking. Surprise jump scare at Clarksville.
I wish my reaction to getting Clarksville was recorded, because I didn't expect it at this point last real episode of season 1. I said, did little kids love this song or something? Like, did they drive their parents crazy with it? Like, it was Let It Go or something? Like, why can we never be free?
I believe that this instance of Clarksvilling is where the term Clarksvilling comes from, because we didn't make that up. It is like there was like some like TikTok or something that was like, you just got Clarksville, and they show the footage from this music video of it, which I think is just the like, if you look up Last Train to Clarksville music video, I think this is just what it is.
Oh, okay.
And they just insert it entirely into this episode. It doesn't connect to anything.
No.
It's like a complete like cul-de-sac. So I think this is where the term Clarksville, this is the truest, most pure instance of getting Clarksvilled. When it comes out of nowhere for no reason, you don't expect it, and it's gone.
And there's an actual train in it.
Yeah. It's like Wild West footage that has nothing to do with anything with the plot of this episode.
Right.
A lot of things about this episode are very early season-like, which makes me wonder.
I mean, we've seen parts of this footage before.
Like, the fact that it's Clarksville makes me go, was this meant to air earlier in the season?
Right,
and they held it for some reason? Because in season 2, the Devil and Peter Tork comes really late in the season, but it was shot really early, and it's because they had to like do some stuff with the lawyers to get clearance for the lyrics of Salesman to appear on TV, because apparently they were too edgy for TV. And I wonder if it's something similar here, but I can't think of anything that would be objectionable in this that they would need to like get clearance for, Who knows?
Maybe
there was
tarnishing of Frankie Avalon's image.
Yeah, they had to get permission.
So there is a plot to the
the music video has its own contained plot.
Micky is the villain, and he's driving the train.
He's Snidely Whiplash. He has a mustache.
Yes, he's got a mustache. No, so they and Mike is his sidekick engineer,
who is dressed normal.
No, yeah, he's just completely normal.
Yeah, he's just wearing his jean jacket and jeans and like hat and just like holding a gun.
Yeah, and so they're tying Peter up to the train tracks.
And Peter has a hoodie on that makes him look very modern. So
so they get him to lay down on the tracks, and they're trying to tie him up, but of course they just get tangled in the rope.
Yeah,
and they get all tied up. And Peter's laying down; he looks sleepy. Mm-hmm. And then they finally get out of the rope, and they kind of put the rope down on top of Peter, and he's just like Peter goes to sleep. Now they keep flashing to him like it's just about to be hit by the train, but this continues for another like 3 minutes, and the train never like reaches him. So then Davy has to come and save the day.
Yes, Davy the good cowboy.
So he climbs up onto the train, and then he gets hit by a shovel. Yeah. And he has a fight on top of the train, and then they have a fight in the...
He goes like into the like body of the train where Mike is now driving the train, and he's like the train conductor with his train conductor hat, and he just punches Mike in the face.
And he actually hit him.
Yeah.
But they were in this little spot, and they're all fighting in there. And then he's trying to stop the train. He ends up getting down and like stopping.
He stops it with his body weight because a man in love has a strength of thousands, and he has to save his. He's a good hero cowboy. He has to save his damsel. But then Peter gets up and he bonks Davy on the head, and then turns to reveal his evil mustache because he was evil the whole time.
So that is the story of Clarksville.
What did that have to do with this beach episode we're watching?
What did that even have to do with the last train to Clarksville?
Because it was the train.
It's a train.
Yeah. Okay. I think perhaps that was supposed to be like, how can Davy be a leading man in a movie? Here's how.
Well, that was it. No, that's exactly what it was. It was
okay.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, I could see that. Mike drags Davy out of his bedroom in a headlock, and he's like, "You're a grown man hiding in the bedroom," and then he rolls his eyes super hard. And Davy's like, I don't want to be a star. Then why are you a pop musician?
Peter jumps up and down because he wants to be a star, and they're like, "Shut up, Peter."
No. Yeah, no. Mike's like, no one's forcing you to be a star. One of us will be a star. And then Peter's like, oh, me. And it's this low angle shot of him like jumping expressionlessly. And Mike says it down Peter like he's a dog. It's so funny. Also, his ass looks great in that shot. And the taxidermy monkey is staring directly at it, just like in the corner. Like,
Great.
Me too. They go to Mr. Schneider's desk to draw straws, Amelia Bedelia style.
Yes.
So they all,
It
they all
was definitely Amelia Bedelia.
drawings of different straws. And Davy draws a small straw.
The short straw.
He draws the short straw, which seems like a metaphor. So now Davy has to be a star, and we have to set him up.
I like this bit coming up.
I like this too. Mike and Peter are sitting on the beach with their long, spindly legs and their record pile. Right when Cram and Smithers happen to be passing with their headshot pile. How convenient. And also, Mike and Peter here are dressed identical to how they were when they messed with Cram's movie set.
Yeah.
So he should recognize
Well, that's
them.
exactly it. The remainder of this time, Cram has no idea who they are.
Yeah. They're just little extras to him. They mean
but
nothing.
he picked them up off the beach to begin with.
Yeah.
Hired them.
Yeah.
And then they were making all this trouble on the set.
And he didn't fire them.
Didn't fire them. And now they've reappeared, but he doesn't recognize
They
them.
must know he's absent-minded and they don't have the trust.
No,
He can't see through his cyclops eyes.
It's the face blindness.
Yeah. And they're like going through the names of the headshot, and one of the ones he says is Robbie Rafelson.
Yeah.
Get it?
I was wondering, are these other Johnny Jerome and Buddy Vince?
I think those are just made up. So Peter and Mike start a fake conversation where Peter's like, I'm trading all my records for your really good record that I want. And he's like, well, do you want? I've offered you my Lovin' Spoonful collection, my Bobby Dylan records, my Blind Lemon Jefferson records, and this prize of my collection, Bobby Darin Sings His Bank Book. And Mike says, throw in the stones. The Lovin' Spoonful were the group that was meant to be on the Monkees before they decided. They were just going to be like, oh, let's take a band that already exists and put them in the show. And it was going to be the Lovin' Spoonful. And then they were like, no, we should make up the band so we can control them more.
Okay.
So that's their connection to that. And I like that he calls him Bobby Dylan.
Bobby Dylan.
Like he knows him.
And what's Blind Lemon Jefferson?
I don't know.
Is that real?
Is that-
I mean, I've never heard of it either. I trust that it's real, though, because there's a 60s band called Strawberry Alarm Clock. So
Well, that one I've heard of.
let me see if this is anything. Blind Lemon Jefferson. I hope it's a lemon that's blind. Oh, he's
it's
like
an actual blind man.
he's like a blues singer from the 20s.
Okay. A deep cut.
Interesting. You know what? I appreciate this deep cut, Peter. Yeah,
Yes.
it is. Well, I mean, these are probably just all like guys that they actually listen to, you know, because I know that like Mike was into like old blues stuff like that.
Would be listening to Blind Lemon Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a hipster. Yeah. I just think it's cute because he's trading all these records for his one Davy Jones record.
What? Okay.
That's
old Davy Jones record who looks like Ricky.
I have a couple things to say. Mike is chewing on the corner of the record.
He's like putting it in his mouth.
And when he pulls it out of his mouth, he actually has a piece of yellow on his lip.
Mike is so nasty. When I get mad, I chew on this picture of Davy Jones. Cram comes over.
And the record says, it just says David Jones.
That's
and
the only words on this thing.
It says David Jones and has like the name of the record company, you know, like whatever
like
it was.
A tiny logo.
Tiny logo. You can't even read what the logo
only
is.
legible words on anywhere on this record are David Jones.
David Jones.
Yes. And then Cram goes, let me see that. Davy Jones sings. It doesn't say that. Why couldn't they change the line? Why would this old actor not just change what he was saying?
I was like, it doesn't say that at all.
Maybe they wrote that and then they thought it was funny.
Is that a real album?
That's his his real album. That was the album on which he has both recordings of the songs Baby It's Me and It Ain't Me Babe.
Okay.
Make up your mind, Davy.
Well, is that what he's singing later?
No.
Okay. Because he's singing.
He sings the same song 3 times.
Yeah.
But differently. He sings it differently, but it's the same song.
Yeah. So they've planted this message that Davy's music is popular in Cram's subconscious. So it cuts to him coming out of his trailer to the Monkees in suits pretending to be reporters.
And they don't know who they are.
No, they're getting the scoop on who will replace Frankie. They say separately that Terry Bishop, Tony Davenport, and Billy Tobias are no Davy Jones. And then Cram says that someone that Peter suggests
Freddie Freeman
is no Davy Jones.
Yes.
Subliminal psychology. They got him. Also, during the scene, Mike is pretending to take notes on his hand. He doesn't have like a notebook. The Monkees then hack into Cram's radio to make him think that Davy has a bunch of hit songs on the radio.
Right. And then he's just singing them right into the radio.
Mickey's does a DJ impression where he talks into a coffee can
To give an echoey.
Oh.
But also it's a Maxwell House coffee can, but they've got the word Maxwell covered in black tape.
But not house?
Yeah. And
You're
it's
allowed to know it's house coffee.
It's a blue can. I mean, there's no mistaking the can for anything but a Maxwell House coffee can.
They can't have brand names on the show. Yeah, I couldn't identify what song Davy is singing.
No, and he's just like I really love you.
It just goes like, "Baby, I love you. I really love you. Baby, I love you." It's just the most nothing song ever. And Micky introduces it with 3 different titles. He says it is Teardrops in the Playground, and These Boots Are Made for Kicking, and It's Been Lonesome in the Saddle Since My Horse Died.
Yeah.
But it is in fact the same generic song all 3 times. And this is enough to convince
And
Cram.
he only sings a line of it.
Yeah. But this is enough to convince Cram that this is our star. We've got our star.
At least he has 3 hits, even if they're all.
Cram is like, yes, we've got our star. And Smither's like, yeah, that disc jockey is great. And then Cram's like, are you sure you're my nephew?
There's the nephew.
And then the next scene, it cuts to footage that was clearly shot 30 seconds real time after the shot of when Frankie was introduced, of Davy being introduced in Frankie's clothes.
Yes.
It's like the same scene. And I know this because of the presence of Hot Kennedy Extra.
Oh, just standing right there.
Yeah.
He's in the same spot.
Yeah, I love Hot Kennedy. You don't see him super good the first time they go, but like they had Kennedy boys about in LA. He's here. Yeah, Davy's wearing all the same clothes and wig as Frankie, and like including the furry triangle shirt to go on a date with the super tall girl.
Right. I said, Davy's in the bad hairy shirt and talking to the brunette who turned out to be the super tall girl, and it's funny because he's so short.
Yes. Since the Monkees feel compelled to destroy any who wear the saran fibers on their head, they defeat Davy at volleyball using their superior heights when they go to shoot the volleyball scene again. And Cram still doesn't recognize them as the people who sabotaged his movie in the exact same way like 3 days ago.
And they weren't even playing volleyball this time. They were just playing keep away.
Yeah, they were just throwing.
They were just throwing the ball.
They were just bullying Davy. And then they tie him up with his net. Make sure his shirt's nice and open before you tie him up.
And he's screaming, cut, cut, cut again. Now, that's why he doesn't recognize anybody. He's still trying to get them to stop.
Yeah. So he goes to Cram and he's like, I'm quitting the picture because, quote, music's our business, not jumping around on a beach. Mm-hmm. You keep telling yourself that, Davy. And then he goes, and besides, this is spoiling my character. And then it repeats my character like 17 times.
And then we flash through all his characters.
The thing is, I understand the joke they're going for, but those aren't characters, they're outfits. He's always just playing Davy.
Well, no, one was the doppelganger. He played.
Oh, okay, so that is a different character.
Artist from that we just saw in Monkey.
But that was him.
Yeah, that
but
was
the rest
him.
of them are all just Davy.
A baker,
different
modes of
Davy.
A boxer, a fireman.
Well, I guess it's
caveman.
As show Davy as character.
I guess, perhaps. Hard cut to the Valleri music video. Just the whole exact video from Captain Crocodile. Yes. Mom, do you see him flying now?
No, I still do.
How did you miss that? How did you miss that?
It?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and watch
you have to.
It's like he's on a forklift or something.
Yeah, no, he starts flying away. Yeah. How did you miss it?
No. You know what?
He flies, but only for those who truly believe.
Do you want to know something?
What?
I fast forwarded through this when I saw that it was
When you saw it was the same.
When I saw that it was a video, because this was last night at like 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, I have to finish this.
Oh no!
So I was like, oh, this is just them in the studio.
Yeah. Well, you were mostly right.
That's how I.
But you could have seen him fly.
Okay, I'm going to go back and watch it tonight. Then.
Yeah, this kind of like non-integrated into the plot music video is going to become increasingly common at this point. Like half of season 2 just has songs stuck contextlessly on the end.
Contextlessly.
Yeah. Like half of season 2 just has songs like stuck contextlessly on the end or beginning of episodes, which like on the one hand I'm like, oh, you're writing these episodes shorter, but on the other hand it kind of makes it feel more like a variety show than a sitcom in that like, oh, now we're in the music segment.
Honestly, I kind of remember that being the way where it was.
Yeah,
in a way it works better than reused nonsensical footage.
Yeah,
right. They were going kind of in the direction of, for season 3 they did want to make it more of a variety show and less like plot structured, so you can kind of see they're heading in that more experimental kind of thing by then. 1 minute short. The theme this week of the 1 minute short will be the Monkees' perception of their own reputation and image. So Davy tells the fun story of his large cop brother-in-law who stopped a break-in whilst dressed in monkey merch.
Yes.
Which is like a sweatshirt and hat that had like monkey logos on them. Which it is a funny story.
Yeah, when Davy tells this story, I at first misheard him and thought that he said his brother. And I didn't think about it until he said he was 6'2", and I was like, "You're not related to anyone."
Yeah,
and
no.
I Googled it. And
brother-in-law.
I got it.
Yeah, it's interesting because when he's like, "Yeah, he had the monkey merch on," Bob goes, "Did you give it to him as a gift or something, as a joke?" And Davy's like, "Yeah, as a giggle," because he's an artist also. Okay. So they all kind of have this sense already that they're perceived as like for children and not
silly,
respectable and teen pop band and silly.
And yet he was wearing it on the job.
Yeah, he was he was ready to go. Yeah. So they all do kind of have this awareness of the way they're perceived. And then Mike goes on a little car autism rant, and I love it. He's like, you know what I always wanted to do was get a Rolls Royce and put little bitty tires on the front, big slicks on the back, and put a pickup bed in the truck and old paint, and stuff like that, and take the hood off it and everything and paint a name on the back. And Bob goes, and drive where? And Mike goes, and drive no place. Drive it out on the freeway and give it a flat tire and stand there scratching your head. The way he describes his custom car is a lot like in the short story Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been, which is one of my favorites. They have Arnold Friend's car in that. They say that he has like written memes on the side of his car, and I'm like, what do you mean by that?
Memes?
Yeah, they're like, he had old jokes from last year written on.
Carb 6'7".
Yeah. Mom laughing at 6'7".
I got you.
6'7".
I work with kids. That's
yeah. The way he talks about his car is interesting. Mike loved cars. So then Bob confronts them with the rumor that they don't play their own instruments, which to this day is like the knee-jerk thing that anyone will say. It'll just come out of their mouth when you mention the Monkees, much like people being like, Yoko broke up the Beatles.
They were Beatles.
Or they also say that Davy was on the Brady Bunch one time, which, yes. I know.
Well, you know what the thing about that is that the Brady Bunch played consecutively for like 40 or 50 years.
Uh-huh.
The Monkees was off the air for like, okay. So I saw that Brady Bunch episode
more than you saw the Monkees.
More than I saw all of the Monkees combined. That one episode, because that Brady Bunch was on reruns my entire life.
Yeah.
And we watched them all the time.
My YouTube algorithm is feeding me some Brady Bunch clips, and every time I watch them, the siblings are so mean to each other all the time.
Well, that's the point.
I know, but like I'm like, I feel like you wouldn't have let me and Duncan watch that growing up, because they like it's
I
like
feel the impression of the Brady Bunch is supposed to be like they're very clean cut and wholesome.
They're extremely wholesome.
No, but they're constantly like just being horrible to each other.
It depends on what clips you're watching.
Well, I'm only watching Marsha and Jan rivalry clips.
That's yeah.
Do they ever?
It's a very small point. part of the show.
Well, yeah, my YouTube algorithm also wants me to think that Little House on the Prairie is entirely about Nellie being in situations. So
Nellie always in a situation.
Nellie's husband is too short for her. Yeah, no, the Monkees don't play their own instruments is such a common thing that people said, and they were saying it even back then. They refute it by basically being like, look, we've been on tour really playing for like months.
In front of all these people.
If we can't play, we're in big trouble. Okay, couple things. Y'all don't and do play your instruments in the sense that like you're singing on the songs and sometimes you're playing your instruments on the songs, but you're not doing it often. And Micky like had to learn drums for the show, and on their first tour still did not know how to play the drums. Not that it mattered, because as we will see next episode, you could not hear them. It was Beatlemania in there, and you couldn't hear a second of them playing.
Okay.
They kind of got by that first tour on the fact that like they couldn't even hear themselves, so they were kind of faking through it.
The claim isn't necessarily wrong.
Right.
Yeah, they are capable of playing their instruments and do.
They do sometimes.
They often did not.
Exactly.
I think he was trying to like make him feel bad.
Yeah. No, like he brings it up, and you can tell that it's like something that really bothers them. Like Mike is like, it's ridiculous. It's not true. Why would we even bother to refute that?
Were they just trying to like disprove a conspiracy? Is that why it's getting brought up on the show?
Well, yeah. Well, I think it was even then it had gotten so knee-jerk reaction-y, and probably I get the sense that like playground rumors in the 60s were kind of wacky and wild. One of the Monkees magazines has a rumors column where it's just little girls sending in like worried messages about the stupidest things ever. They'll be like, there's some girl in my school that says that Davy is actually 55 and he got plastic surgery to look 21. And there's a girl at my school that says Mike tries on all of Phyllis's earrings before he buys them for her. And like, there's a girl at my school that said that said Peter died in a car crash. And like, then you're like, oh, is this how Paul is Dead got so big? Because people were just really stupid and rumors were, but like little kids are always going to have rumors like that. Do you remember the Webkinz killer?
Kind of. I was never like into Webkinz personally, but I remember like after the fact seeing it on YouTube.
I thought until I was like probably like 15 years old that Webkinz could genuinely die. I thought they had that ability in the game because somebody when I was little was like, yeah, I came back and like my Webkinz were all dead. If you don't feed them for long enough, they die. They would never put that in the game. You know?
All kinds of weird conspiracies.
I do recall having to feed your Webkinz for you.
Yeah, because they would die otherwise, Mom. It stressed me out.
Like the conspiracy that like the talking Tom and Angela.
Oh yeah, talking Angela can see through your eyes.
Yeah, love to make stuff up.
Yeah. I think that the little conversation that Marge Simpson had over her Monkees lunchbox genuinely happened hundreds of thousands of times with little girls in 60s high schools being like, did you know the Monkees don't play their own instruments? And it had gotten like relevant enough as a rumor that they felt they had to refute it on the show, which is very interesting because the thing is, it was true and it wasn't true.
And whose fault is it that they don't play their own instruments?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They wanted to.
Yeah. But I think it is interesting that you said it was kind of mean of Bob to even bring this up.
Right.
Like, a lot of what he does seems to be like subtle bullying of the Monkees before our own eyes. And like, you can tell it gets to them that like when people say this to them, you can tell they don't like it.
Yeah.
Even in the show. And
it kind of reminds me of that one like Paul McCartney like Google interview where like, he rips out the paper and goes, I can't believe you asked that,
and then he like throws the board away.
That's Mike in this interview.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, that's kind of all I got for this one. Goodbye, normal season 1. Monkey out.
Monkey out.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of the Monkees Pod. You can follow us on Instagram and the website formerly known as Twitter at Monkees Pod. We come on the sloop John B. The grandfather and me, around Nassau town we did roam, drinking all night, got into a fight. I feel so broke up, I wanna go home. Bye.